The time in Mika's life when we really see the power of music come into play.
Like the soundtrack to her life is changing.
Exactly. Think about the music you loved as a teenager for Mika. It's Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Those iconic voices that speak to so many young women. But then she gets a summer job, and Tony, the janitor, introduces her to a whole new world of music.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to Witter. Who Has Time to Read? The podcast that brings deep dives for busy minds. Listen to AI hosts Jane and Dane and get ready to unpack the world's most captivating books in just a fraction of the time. Whether commuting, working out, or just squeezing in a quick break, we deliver key insights, thought-provoking themes, and takeaways you can carry into your day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Plus, use our links in the description to purchase this book. Your support helps us bring more engaging book discussions to you. Listen and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Who has time to read? You do, with Witter.
Welcome back to Witter. You know, deep dives for busy minds. And this month we are celebrating Black Voices for Black History Month. So we have something really special for you.
It is a treat.
We are diving deep into Redwood Court. That's the debut novel from DéLana R.A. Dameron. And this book is not just any debut. No. This book was a Reese's Book Club pick.
Ooh, talk about a stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Redwood Court is a multi-generational story, and it takes place in a Black neighborhood right in the heart of Columbia, South Carolina. We follow the Mosby family, starting with Weezy and Tita as they're building their lives together on Redwood Court, raising their children and eventually their grandchildren.
So Redwood Court sounds like it's really important here, the place itself.
Yeah, it's more than just an address in the book. It's like, imagine a cul-de-sac becoming a character itself.
Right.
Witnessing all of the joys, the struggles, and the triumphs of the families who live there, that's Redwood Court. Dameron uses it as a symbol of community resilience and the complexities of Black life in America.
And it starts with this beautiful love story.
Right.
Weezy and Tita.
Yes.
They have this meet cute at a colored green stand.
Of all places.
Which I think is the most Southern way to start a romance.
Adorable, and it really speaks volumes about the setting and the culture that Dameron is drawing from. And then you have the backdrop of the Korean War adding another layer of depth to their relationship as well.
Right.
It makes you think about how love blossoms even amidst chaos and uncertainty, something I'm sure many of our listeners can relate to.
Absolutely. It speaks to the human need for connection and love, no matter what's happening around us.
Yeah.
But Redwood Court doesn't stop at just one generation.
No, not at all. In fact, one of the most powerful relationships in the book is between Weezy and her granddaughter, Mika. And their bond is truly the heart of the novel, especially after Tita passes away.
Yeah, you can really feel that legacy being passed down, like the strength of the women who came before her. And it's not just warm fuzzies either. Like, this book doesn't shy away from tough subjects like racism and segregation.
That's right. It's woven throughout the narrative. Sometimes subtly, other times more directly. You see it through Mika's experiences with her white classmates and through observations made by Cousin Daisy about the ghetto. It raises important questions about how we reconcile the love and joy within a community with the systemic inequalities its members face.
Exactly. Like, how can you have this tight-knit community,
right,
but still have these underlying issues?
Exactly. And it's through Mika's coming-of-age story that we see some of these questions explored most vividly.
Oh, absolutely.
She's a young Black girl finding her way in Redwood Court, and her story offers a relatable and introspective perspective.
Well, I definitely remember those awkward teenage years.
We all do. But for Mika, it's about more than just first periods or crushes. It's about navigating a world where her Blackness is both a source of pride and a target of prejudice. And remember that scene where she has her first period while visiting her cousin Daisy in Tampa?
Oh, yeah.
So she's away from her usual support system, which adds this whole other layer of vulnerability to the situation. And it's a reminder that these pivotal moments in our lives don't always happen at the most convenient times.
Definitely not.
And you know, it makes her so relatable. She's going through these universal experiences, but the added layer of societal expectations and the ways her race factors into it, that's where the real depth comes in.
Exactly.
Dameron brilliantly captures how these personal experiences are interwoven with broader social commentary.
Yeah, I can't wait to unpack more of that with you.
Me too. There's just so much to discuss. This is also the time in Mika's life when we really see the power of music come into play.
Like, the soundtrack to her life is changing.
Exactly. Think about the music you loved as a teenager for Mika. It's Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston,
Yeah.
those iconic voices that speak to so many young women. But then she gets a summer job, and Tony, the janitor, introduces her to a whole new world of music.
Oh, wow. He's like giving her a secret key to unlock different parts of herself.
Yeah, he opens her up to everything, from Miles Davis to Missy Elliott. Talk about expanding your horizons. And it's not just about the music itself.
Right.
It's about the mentorship, the connection they forge. Tony becomes this guiding figure, someone who sees Mika's potential and encourages her to explore her own creativity.
It reminds me of how important those intergenerational relationships can be. And we see that not just with Wheezy and Mika, but also with Tita and Ninja Mika's husband. Remember that scene where Tita gives Major advice before he heads off to the army?
Oh, that's a powerful scene. Tita tells him, "Get out now while you still have a woman and a family who know and love you." It's so poignant, especially knowing Tita's own experiences in the Korean War. He's trying to break the cycle of trauma, wanting Major to choose love and family over duty and sacrifice.
Yeah, it makes you think about the weight of history
Yeah,
and how those experiences impact future generations.
absolutely.
And that sense of family, both blood and chosen, is so central to Redwood Court. It's about the people who shape us, who support us, and challenge us to become our best selves. But amidst all this love and connection, there's also this current of loss and grief running through the story.
Definitely.
Tita's illness and death becomes a turning point for everybody.
Oh, it's a huge turning point.
Yeah, his passing leaves such a void. You can feel it impacting each character in different ways.
It's heartbreaking, but it also draws them closer together in these unexpected ways. And it's a reminder that even in the face of immense sadness, there can be moments of grace and beauty. And those family bonds can really sustain us through the darkest of times.
And let's not forget the role of faith in the story. We see how Wheezy relies on prayer and her belief in God's plan to find comfort.
Yeah. It's a powerful coping mechanism for her, especially when she's faced with uncertainty and loss. It raises thought-provoking questions about the limits of faith and how we reconcile our beliefs with the realities of life.
It's interesting because you see how faith is a source of strength for her, but it also doesn't erase the very real challenges that she faces.
Right.
It makes her character so much more complex and relatable.
Exactly. And those complexities are what make Redwood Court such a thought-provoking and emotionally resonant read. It's a story that sticks with you long after you finish the last page.
Absolutely. And it makes you think about the power of Dameron's storytelling. You know, she uses these everyday details like Mama's jewelry box
Yes.
to convey so much emotion. It's not just a box, it's like a vessel holding her grief.
Yeah.
And a physical link to her firstborn son who died as a baby.
It's a reminder that even the smallest objects can carry so much weight and meaning. And then you have Mika's friendship bracelet business. It's more than just a way for her to make extra money. It's an expression of her independence and her entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, she's a go-getter, taking after her father, who runs his own computer business. You can see that resourcefulness and resilience pass down through generations.
It speaks to the determination and the creativity that are often necessary for Black families to thrive in a system that doesn't always make things easy.
Right. And let's not forget about Redwood Court itself.
Right.
It's so much more than just an address. It becomes this microcosm of the Black experience in America.
Dameron beautifully captures the warmth and the vibrancy of the community, while also not shying away from the systemic issues its residents face, like racism, poverty, and incarceration.
It's a reminder that even in the most idyllic settings, there are always challenges to overcome and injustices to confront.
And Dameron's talent shines through in her ability to balance these harsh realities with moments of joy, humor, and resilience.
Yeah, it feels like she's really showing us the full spectrum of Black life, like all the nuances and complexities, and she does it with such beautiful language.
Oh, her writing is truly exquisite. Dameron captures the cadence of Southern Black speech in a way that feels so authentic, you know? But she also elevates those everyday conversations into something poetic and profound.
Yeah, it's like she's giving a voice to a community that's often overlooked or marginalized. It makes you feel like you're right there on Redwood Court with them.
And that's the power of stories like this. They let us step into someone else's shoes, see the world through their eyes. And it expands our understanding of what it means to be human.
I think that's a great point, especially during Black History Month. You know, reading books like Redwood Court helps us connect with history and culture on a personal level.
Absolutely. And it reminds us that these stories aren't just about the past. They're about the present and the future. They're about understanding the legacies we inherit and the world we want to create for future generations.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Redwood Court, we want to leave you with a few thoughts. Think about the power of Black voices and the impact their stories have on you. How do these narratives enrich your understanding of history, culture, and the human experience? What other Black authors deserve a place on your reading list? We hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and encouraged you to explore the captivating world of Redwood Court.
Thanks for listening to Witter, Who Has Time to Read, produced by One Media. Please support the author by purchasing the book or audiobook using the link in the description. It's a great way to help keep the art of writing alive. And stay in the loop. Subscribe to our newsletter for updates on weekly deep dives. And don't forget to share your thoughts or suggest our next deep dive at witterpodcast@gmail.com.